What's going on, everyone? This is the Fraser LeVay podcast weekly segment with Uncle Blaiso. We haven't talked on the phone since I'm a new dad, so I'm a new dad.
Daddy,
Woo!
it's there.
Things we never thought we would ever say or hear.
Oh, dude. Like for the listeners out there, actually, might as well hit that now. Like people always say there's some things I thought I'd never see. And I mean, this might be at the top of the list. Like it's gotta be close. We just assumed all these years that your swimmers just had no skills. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a miracle that this is his first time, but then I guess it's a miracle that it actually did happen. I'm not sure which is more of a miracle, but yeah, this is the chart topper, that one.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And yeah, for listeners, we did a home birth in a pool. So not only like let's take out the fact that me having a baby is unreal.
Yeah.
Let's add on to your bingo card of it was in a pool in my living room in Costa Rica, where I now live apparently. So
why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we?
So that was cool, intense. And yeah, now I have a baby that's 6 days old.
6 days old. And how much sleep have you had?
Not a ton.
No.
But I've got it. Like it's kind of like I have a great plan, and the plan worked yesterday decently.
Yeah,
but it hadn't worked yet. But it was like the plan, the whole thing. Whoever said it, you have a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Same kind of idea.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. So she's always an early riser, and I'm a late sleeper, or whatever. And so I stay up till 2, do all the stuff, put him in bed, change, last feeding. So then only one of us has to wake up at like 5 a.m. for that middle one. And then she's up for the morning. And really, so it worked last night half decent.
Okay.
So I think it's 6 days. Together. It is.
And then it's going to change in about 3 days.
Exactly.
Because if there's one thing that I've heard about parenting, it's that the plans don't always work great.
No.
It takes a little bit.
And and let me think. Oh, he's going to be taller than me, I think. And there's a chance he has light eyes. Like he might have green or blue eyes like his one of his 2 grandmothers both have.
Really?
Yeah. So he's going to get homeschooled or put in like a monastery if that's the case.
Yeah, there's not a real thing down there.
No, I'm just saying like he's going to be a cute little guy if he's like taller than me and light skin or light eyes.
Yeah.
He's going to be a little freak.
And you don't want to let him out in public.
No.
Yeah, he's going to be a little freak. I mean, you would have no idea how to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little menace.
Well, let's jump into the podcast before we speak NFL and other lots of. You're covering everything today. Wrestling. Oh, right. Yeah. Have you watched Yellowstone?
You know what? I watched like the first few minutes and then no, I turned it off. Like, I'm sorry, but I see what they're going. They're trying to either say that he committed suicide or they're saying that he committed suicide, but the family doesn't believe. Like, either way, it's the writers trying to say that this guy committed suicide, or like this, like that's how they're killing off his character. John Dutton's like the last person ever that would have committed suicide.
Yeah, if you watched, do you want me to I only watched 10 more minutes. Do you want me to tell you kind of like what happens?
I don't know. I think I'm just off the show. I think my Yellowstone has John Dutton in it. I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, Jamie,
I don't know. What do you think?
Jamie did it. Like Jamie owns up to doing it. Like they show like his kind of behind the scenes of setting it up. And Beth is 100% thinks he did it. And so now it's going to be a witch hunt for Jamie.
God damn it. I mean, okay, so the suicide angle doesn't stick around because I was just not prepared to watch that after that point. I was just like, nope, that's gone. There's no way that dude would ever commit suicide. I can't. But still, I just don't think that I'm interested without John Dutton. I don't know.
Yeah,
Angry Beth does excite me. Like there's no doubt about that, and Angry Rip, like those are awesome parts of the show. But goddamn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't really have Yellowstone without. I agree. It's pretty hard.
So did you watch the whole episode then, or just another 10 minutes?
No, Jess, because it was late at night. Well, not late, but for parents, just fell asleep because she's obviously tired with the baby. So babies
Yeah.
ruin everything, as we've learned in 6 days. But aside from that,
6 short days.
yeah. So, but yeah, she only made it for like 15 minutes, and then just like her and both little Lukai were doing like the flinching Frankenstein hands
Yeah.
because they were passing out.
Makes
But
it hard to focus on an episode of television.
Yeah, and I was googling like how to watch it, and it seemed like there was bad reviews. But it's aside from, I think probably just everyone hates the no John Dutton thing. Which I mean, we're gonna get to selfish white men later, but just just these two guys, two strong-headed people, couldn't figure out a solution.
I know, it's bizarre. Like, you guys had the biggest banger going and just couldn't overcome it. I don't know. It's hard to fault though. What's his name though? The producer. Like, everything the guy does turns into gold. So it's hard to say that he's in the wrong. And Costner's always been a bit of a weirdo, but still, he's Crash Davis. He's John Dutton. Like,
you're gonna hate this. Who the fuck is Crash Davis?
Are you kidding? God damn it! Like, the greatest baseball movie ever.
Oh yeah. Okay, Bull Durham. I know that was his name.
God,
I thought his name was Bull Durham.
No, the team is the Durham Bulls.
Oh, okay.
Crash Davis is like top 5 movie characters of all time.
That is your favorite movie. I know this.
It's up there. I don't know if it's favorite. It's close. Yeah, like, he's got some lines in there that are just incredible. And so then, as he advanced and then became John Dutton, obviously I was like, okay, I'm in for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that they couldn't solve those issues, because it's just not the same. We'll see. We'll see how the next couple of weeks goes. If I can sneak it in time wise, maybe I'll give it another chance. But I've been, when I'm not have football on, which is in the bunch because I've been traveling a lot lately, but I've actually started watching The Penguin.
Oh, I heard that's good.
It's really good. Like, it's really, really good. Like, what's his name as the Penguin does it?
Yeah.
Colin Farrell. Like, he's so good. And so I was gone most of last week, but if it hasn't been football, just sneaking in a show at night or something like that, I've watched The Penguin a little bit and think it's awesome. So let's see. I don't have high hopes for Yellowstone, but I hope I'm wrong, because it's brought us a lot of joy.
Yeah, I think like they can run on like some fumes with like this whole angle of, okay, now we got to kill him and Angry Beth, but I think like that's, you can only do that for so long, I'm sure. And I just can't. What his other like the Casey family saga started, and I'm like, it's just kind of like he sees a wolf, and the son now is a terrible actor.
I would say, is it the same kid?
Yeah. I'm just kind of, so it's just kind of if that takes over more. It was good when Casey was killing 2 people per episode to start the season.
Yes. She's great when she's on camera, like, to look at, but I mean, it kind of ends when she starts whining about everything.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. What about that little homeless bastard that was running around there for a little bit last season?
Oh, he's in there. So yeah, he must. I bet he's probably grown like 6 years since the last one. So they had to cut him out.
We don't need this kid.
Yeah, he looks like some ugly giant 19-year-old. So like, that's not as sweet.
It's not going to work. Damn it. Oh, so too bad, Rip. You had a little kind of half kid you didn't really like there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually. So yeah, he had like a little touching moment too. It was actually a good start to the 15 minutes. Then who knows what happens after?
Who knows?
Outside of John Dutton dying.
For next week, we'll go back. But
not
looking good.
Yeah. Speaking of fatherhood, I haven't watched. So me and Blaze watch the Bill Simmons podcast, or listen to it every single. I haven't missed one Simmons episode for like 2 years. He doesn't listen to the basketball ones, but anyways, I haven't listened to one for 2 weeks now. But I'm just like, this is weird for you to hear. I just like peace. Like, I just don't want to hear anyone talking. I just have like some calm music on. Yeah. I went on a drive to my physical therapy, and I normally would listen in the car, and I'm like, nope, I'm just going to have silence.
It's been 6 days and you already have PTSD. This is no good. This is no good. This is going to be a tough couple months. On the bright side, though, don't you have the grandparents arriving soon?
Yeah, they come 3 days, 4 days, so 3. Yeah, so that'll be good.
So and that won't add more stress to the life.
No,
more
exactly.
People around you.
Exactly. And then have Also, her like family lives close, so they've been helpful, but also at the same time,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been great.
The nice thing though, you can always count on Ricky though if you need just some peace and quiet. You can just
Mm,
go for a drive with him, and he's quite happy just cruising and not
yeah.
like he doesn't need to get 1,000 words out per minute. It's great.
No,
So
we'll
yeah,
take out the fishing
that might be what you
rods
need.
and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Take him fishing down there. Don't go to the sea though, because he's pretty good in his little 12-foot aluminum. I wouldn't imagine, but I don't know
Yeah.
if we need him on a seagoing vessel.
uh, all right. Well, let's jump into some football. Before, well, just a quick headline. The Seahawks cut their leading tackler. That just seemed like
Ooh,
counterproductive. The Seahawks.
who's their leading tackler?
I don't know.
Is it Bobby Wagner?
No.
He's long gone.
Yeah.
Brian Bosworth.
Yeah. It was definitely Brian's Bosworth. Tyrell Dodson, inside linebacker.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it just seems like a weird thing that you would do, but
At a weird time. Didn't they just come off a bye?
yeah. And they benched someone else. They're doing like wholesale changes on defense.
Oh, okay. Middle of the bye week seems like the right time to do that. Wouldn't want to
Yeah.
maybe start on that last week?
Yeah. That's
I
true.
don't know.
Um,
And playing the Niners this week?
mhm. You
Huh.
probably want to make tackles during that
I would think, yeah.
during that
There are
game.
a lot of guys who are hard to tackle, too. It's tough.
uh, well, we jumped in since we talked. Might as well get some NFL in quarterback talent. We had a good chat in the Guillotine group chat about. Started me you saying I didn't like Tom Brady because he was doing the whole back in my day quarterbacks were better, blah blah blah. And I've
Yeah.
been on a bat. Sorry, Blaze, but I've been on a bit of an anti Tom Brady because have you seen the commercial of him? The ad,
Yeah,
like
it's
the one
awesome.
about him.
Probably the
Is
greatest commercial I've ever seen.
he comes out like it's the Gladiator, and I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, dude, you're announcing football games.
Yeah.
Relax. Everyone believes in you. Not one person doesn't believe in Tom Brady. He's the greatest athlete next to maybe Michael Jordan of all
Yeah,
time.
of all time.
Like everyone believes in you. Stop this. Stop.
But
But
not as an
anyways,
announcer. They're doubting him as an announcer. That's just what
oh
he
my
needs.
god,
This is how he works. This is his thing.
this is
It's,
so bad.
I love it. I love it. Saw me against the world. Always has been.
But I mean, yeah. Then I started. And I put in the group chat just like quarterback issues, and I put down. I started with 3, and then I was like, holy shit! It ended up like 12, 13, 14, and obviously we know the passing pocket quarterback is maybe a dying breed. As we
Yeah.
see, everyone has to be a runner. Even though, I mean, Drake May can pass, but he also has to run. Josh Allen can pass, but he also has to run. So I think part of it, yeah, we're not going to see that same kind of QB play we're used to seeing. But yeah, teams with
No.
major issues at quarterback. Dallas, which is an injury issue, but also the major contract they gave. Miami, Tua's not it. Cleveland, Tennessee, Giants, Oakland, Jets, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Cincinnati. Just kidding, Jason, and Carolina. So
Yeah.
it's not great.
It's not great. And it's like that's a third of the league.
Yeah.
Like that's bonkers. And you know what though, as much as we're always saying it's bad quarterback play. I think a lot of it too is like they don't practice like they used to, and the college game has changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive lines are that's like one of the biggest mismatches in sports now is the D line versus the O line. Like these teams are terrible. Outside of like Detroit, Philly, a couple other teams that got a decent line, and they're teams that are playing well. KC, because like these guys, these lines just get absolutely dominated. Like the Patriots defense on the weekend, who has been getting just mowed down by teams. Not only did they shut down the run, they had 9 sacks on a mobile quarterback, Caleb Williams. Like the linemen, they're just turnstiles. And so as much as we put it on the quarterbacks, and I agree, obviously, no, I agree with what Tom's saying, but so much of it, like they used to practice more and they used to have more time to work on their techniques, and the college game was more physical, right? It was more downhill running, a little bit of passing, not the wide open spread stuff you see now. So these kids don't learn how to the skills they need to translate to the next level. Whereas the D linemen now are they're cyborgs, they're freak shows. So it's I don't know. I was thinking that the other day. I'm like, is there a bigger in sports? Is there a bigger mismatch right now than pass rusher versus O lineman in the NFL? Like on a whole, like it just seems like every game I watch, the quarterbacks are just under siege. And if you can't move, now you're dead. right?
Yeah.
Like, even someone like Peyton Manning playing now, yeah,
Could
unless
be tough.
the receivers were unbelievable that we're
Yeah.
getting open that quick, that early, like he'd be crushed. So yeah, I don't think it's just on the quarterbacks, but yeah, the play is tough to watch sometimes. Like
Mm-hmm.
that game last night, my God, that was
Yeah.
that was
Two,
bad
two
football.
games in a row, Sunday night
Yeah,
and Monday night.
yeah, it was terrible football, and that was with Goff, who had been playing lights out, and the offensive rookie of the year last year, and they were
Mm-hmm.
they were both just an absolute circus act on Sunday. Yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also I think we talked about this before, but like GMs, they're trying to hit home runs for a player like Anthony Richardson versus maybe taking someone like Brock Purdy or whoever it is
Hmm.
that just, oh no, we want Anthony Richardson. We know he can't throw, but he can do all this other stuff. It's like, no, dude, like you
Yeah,
still need to be able to throw in this league and
yeah,
not doing any favors.
or like what the Lions have done and build the rest of your
Mm-hmm.
franchise. Trade away Stafford, bring in a guy like Goff, who's not a superstar, but when he's on, that offense is nasty. But even when he's not, they can still win games. He threw 5 picks the other night, and they still won because they can run the ball. They can their offensive line controls the line of scrimmage almost all the time. They did in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Houston got after their asses a little bit, but once they get control, like they just dictate the game, and so there's something to be said for that model of getting some people who can protect and then putting the quarterback in.
Yeah, I mean, you may have hit on something too, where maybe those best teams in the league are kind of ahead of the game with learning this out, right? Like the Ravens can run the ball, the Chiefs can run the
Yeah,
ball, Detroit can run the ball.
yeah,
So it's like, hey,
Philly,
we see that we're under siege trying to pass, so we need to get back to ground and pound a little bit.
yeah. Like Miami last night, they were up 2 scores with like under 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they come out and they still won't run. They refuse to run it. They just come out
Yeah,
and their stupid little dink and dunk passes, and it's like, what do you like? Do you not understand how the clock works? Like, you're up 2+ scores, and they can't get into the end zone. They're kicking field goals. The only way that you lose is if they get 3 possessions.
yeah,
Fucking run it 3 times, use every single second on the clock, and punt it, and you would have been
mm-hmm.
better off than what they did.
Yeah,
But he refuses that. Like Coach McFakey, I call him, because
yeah,
there's just, they got like somehow got a comp pick for him because he checked an African American box on his resume. But there's no way that dude is
no,
like zero chance. Like, and plus he's a fraud as a coach. Like
yeah,
he's not a good coach. Like
mm-mm.
I don't care what anyone says. I'm saying it forever. You've been on that too. As soon
Mm-hmm.
as like Tua is back, he's mediocre. When he's gone, he's a total train wreck. The guy's a fraud. So
Yeah,
McFakey, and that
yeah.
was actually came up. That was coined by a Dolphins fan we know came up with that nickname. So we're allowed to use it.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
yeah. No, he's definitely like a computer Madden coach. Like he can
yeah,
script these little plays, but the second like Tyreek's not running 10 yards wide open, or like they're in the red zone, they have no answers. Like once
none,
there's no space, there's nothing.
nothing. And
Because
A Chain's a good running back. Mostert's a good running back, but he just refuses to use them enough. Like it's
mm-hmm.
if there was ever a time last night in the fourth quarter where they should have just stuck to the run, and even if it didn't work, just killed the clock. It was it. But nope, let's come down. They did like a reverse pass at one point. They did 17 slip screens, and none of it fucking works. And
Mm-hmm.
they get one lucky play, get a first down, move the clock, and then he looks like a genius. I'm like, come on, man, this guy's no good. This guy is an idiot.
Yeah, yeah, he's not good whatsoever.
No,
Yeah, so I mean, we're seeing just terrible. I mean, drafting QBs. Tennessee needs to draft a QB. The Giants need
yeah,
to. Oakland needs to. The Jets need to.
100%. He's done.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
fantastic.
Rogers. That's crazy too because they went win now, and so
Yeah,
I mean, barring them getting maybe a top 5 pick and like it hits whoever the quarterback is, and they pull like what they're doing in Houston. I mean, they're screwed because they're built to win now, and they've got
yeah,
all this money and guys, and they got to
and
pay
it's
Sauce
fantastic.
soon. They got to pay, or have they already paid Sauce?
No, they haven't yet. They haven't
And
yet.
what's his name at receiver? They got to pay him soon.
Yeah, they'll be the same year. They were the same
Yeah,
draft class.
exactly.
I love it. I love it. It looks so good on him. Like we always say, the Jets are going to jet, and
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers has been running around just running his mouth for like 3 years now, nonstop. And
Mm-hmm.
so many people are sick of his ass. Everybody except for Pat McAfee is sick of his ass, which I don't know what that says because the show is so popular. But like the guy, he's done. He's cooked. It's curtains for that guy. Like
He
they're
is.
averaging 1.1 yards or points per game more than this time last year with the little dude from BYU. What was that dude's name
Yeah.
again? I've
The
even already
league.
forgotten his name.
Yeah.
Like,
he
and
when he made the run on Thursday night 2 weeks ago, and it like he got called back for holding or something. But
yeah,
it looked like he had like pins and needles in his shoes when he was running, and like he looked like me, like with my knee replacement 4 or 5 weeks done. Like I was like, oh my god, that looks
yeah,
so painful. What are you
yeah.
doing?
I know. And then he was cooked for like 3 plays afterwards, probably too.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson,
Wait.
that's the name I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah.
They're a point a game better than they were with Zach Wilson. Like
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's just fantastic. The guy's washed. He's been washed for a while. I love it. Hopefully, we don't have to see him anymore in night games because we've seen enough of the Jets on TV. Like
Oh my god,
enough
yeah.
already. Please stop.
Well, remember, I think we were talking about this. I think I sent you it before the season started. When the schedule came out, they doubled down on the Jets this year. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, because we got screwed last year, we got to have more.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're done with the Jets. I think we're going to see more and more and more of them. Oh, my God.
Well, we're at the time now where they can start flexing these night games, right?
Oh, yeah.
It should have probably started with this coming Monday because who the hell wants to watch Houston and the Cowboys? Like,
Yeah.
come on, get this nonsense off my screen. At least, like, I don't mind when the Sunday night game, if it's a bad matchup, because we've had football all day. So
Mm-hmm.
now you can go do something else. We got hockey anyway on Sundays or whatever it is. Penguin this week, something.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Monday night game sucks, like, you're back to work and it's, worst part of
Yeah.
the week and you're like, oh, I got a football game tonight. This is all right. And now we got to watch Cooper Rush again and Trey Lance. Fuck. Like, come on.
Yeah. Trey Lance threw the worst ball I've ever seen. It was like, it looked like me, like if I just started playing football and just throw like you're like, oh yeah, I did this when I was practicing with my buddies and just floating a ball. And I'm like, I saw that, I'm like, there is no way that's going to come down okay. That looked like me when I was 16 years old. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, he's terrible. Their whole team's terrible. It's fantastic. And then they got Micah Parsons just crushing their coach.
Yeah.
Of course he backtracks because I mean that guy can't stop talking. Like nobody runs his mouth more than that guy. And then he goes on his podcast. Oh, they didn't take what I said the right way. It's like, dude,
I've got the quote.
You said it was very clear.
That's above my pay grade if Mike's going to coach again next year. That's the exact quote.
Yeah. That wasn't even the worst one. The worst one he's talking about how he feels bad for these guys that like some of his players that he wants to see succeed, and he's like the coaching staff was like, these guys have done a lot more work than Mike McCarthy ever has. I'm like, have they?
Wow.
He said that, and then he had the nerve to come back and be like on his podcast like, oh, guys took it the wrong way. I'm like, fucker, like those were your exact words. These coaches
this is what
are there
you said.
from like sun up to sundown. Those coaches are there all the time. The players are there for like 4 hours a day, and this guy's like, they put in way more work than Mike McCarthy ever would. And I was like, dude, are you like, how do you say that about your head coach? Especially when you haven't even been playing, bro. Like, it's not like you're sitting here with 12 sacks at that midway point. Like, you haven't even been playing and you're a shell of yourself. Like, you don't get to talk at that point.
Yeah. And then stay in the same division, the Giants, they got to move on. I was thinking about Daniel Jones. It's just like, it's like a relationship. Like you're dating someone and she likes football. She pays half for dinner most of the time. It's like checks a lot of boxes. Or not like, and you're like, you know what? This is fun.
Yeah.
And it stays around for like 2 years, 3 years, 6 years. And then you're like, all right, now it's just too late. Now it's like, well, I mean, that's what happened with him, right? He's been around.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's like, now you're 35 plus. People think you're used damaged goods and his life's over for you. So that's Daniel Jones in a nutshell.
It is. Except like the girl that you described, I don't think you'd keep her for 6 years. I've seen you break up with people like that you actually really liked after like a year because they used the wrong fucking dinner fork. I'm like, what happened to this one, Fraser? Oh, you wouldn't have believed it. She was having a steak and she used her like appetizer fork, and that was it. I had to cut it off. Those are I used to hear from you, and now you have a kid. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, good for Jess. Women out there, if you have someone like me, just have a baby and then you're good.
Wow, you're gonna fit right in with the new administration back home in the states.
Yeah.
No, you want a purpose in life? Just have a kid and keep
Yeah.
it. You have to keep
Keep
it.
it. You have to keep it. It's
Oh,
perfect.
wow. Good job, Jess. Way to get pregnant. Fuck, you
Jess,
did have to
Jess,
work.
Jess. Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Important. But you
yeah.
know, if the rumors are true, though, one thing for Daniel Jones, if he's actually dating Kay Adams, he's
Oh,
doing it. He's fine.
yeah.
I don't feel as bad for him. Like, he should just like cash out everything, stop playing football, and just go traveling with Kay. I think that would be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I think so. Back to the Jets. What if so the Jets need to restart? Wouldn't that be amazing if they traded a first to the Vikings for Sam Darnold and did the old
We want him back.
yeah, give him back, give
No
him
doubt.
back. Just like what was it, Sam Bradford, who like technically, well not technically, but you got drafted in the first round 3 times or
Yeah,
drafted first overall 3 times because he did get drafted first overall and then he got traded twice for 2 first overall
crazy.
draft picks.
It's bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been watching lately, but I don't. You'd be lucky to get a 6 for Sam Darnold the way he's been playing.
Yeah. That means just a couple games. That's all right.
Yeah, just 4.
We're 7-2.
I know it's good. I mean, he keeps winning.
Yeah.
So good on him.
Goff just threw 5 picks. I think we're all right.
Yeah. My God, that game must have been ugly. I didn't get to watch any of that one.
Oh yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, gross.
And then I'm in another guillotine league that's not for money; it's just for funsies because we can't bet for money in this one. But Josh had the kicker for Houston in the game, and he was down by 3 points. It was me or him, or 4 points, and he had a 58-yarder to end the game.
Oh, you
missed it. I was like, oh,
keep you alive.
Get me alive.
You are like Garfield.
I've been good. No, you are Garfield. You're the one.
I sneak by so many times. I have no business being alive in this league. Like my team's okay, but somehow, what did I beat States by this week? Like 2.5.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's unreal. My time's coming soon, though.
I think so.
I'm like, my team's coming together. I look at some of the other rosters because there's only like 8 of us left. I'm like, well, I'm in trouble. I don't think I'm going the distance here.
Oh, I think there's 2 teams that are like head and shoulders above everyone else, and then
yeah, they have money too.
That's the thing; they have money.
Yeah,
the one dude's team's outrageous.
Yeah, I don't think my $20 bid for Saquon's going to get it done this week.
No, I don't think so. A big loser of the week is supposed to a long time coming. But have you watched the Vince McMahon Netflix show?
No.
Oh my God. You watched though a lot of the like random shows, right? Like there's a series with WWE superstars or something.
Not really. Like I've seen there was one group that Chris Jericho did. It was like Behind the Mat or something like that.
Yeah. I thought you were watching those.
Yeah, there was a couple I watched a while, like during COVID and stuff they were on, but haven't really teed in too much.
That'll be good then, because I hadn't paid attention to wrestling since the Stone Cold like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So all this stuff was just a shock to me. Like I have him as a loser, which he's got all the allegations, cover-ups. You know, he's paid like not even. Let's take out all the crazy stuff that he's done with females on that side, that he's under criminal investigation and federal investigation. He's down for human trafficking now, all this stuff.
Trafficking?
Yeah, because I guess one of the women, like it's not actual, it is trafficking. One of the women, it turns into the term trafficking. He was like pastor to another wrestler and said to have blah, blah, blah. But so that he's like the deaths. There's so many deaths.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously I knew about Owen Hart, which that wasn't really anyone's fault per se, as accident happened. There's
Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many.
So he was in an interview, and I just hate, he has no accountability. And I was thinking like him, even not the political Trump, any genius, rich, these guys who have it all, I assume they don't have that mentality of like, it's my fault ever. Like, right? Just no, which I guess you have to have if you want to be a billionaire. You just have to be a complete psychopath.
Like a sociopath.
Sociopath, yeah. So like the guy that he was in an interview, and the guy's like, "Do you take any responsibility for the deaths?" And like McMahon just goes off, hits his paper out of his hands, which, as we know, obviously people feel guilty when they get angry. Back they're at fault.
Yeah.
But just all he had to say was just, and it'd be totally fine. Like, hey, we had no idea. Like, we were ignorant to steroid use, opioids. That back in the 80s and 90s, everyone was doing that. NHL players, the entire USA opioid epidemic. Like,
yeah,
it's not he knew that steroids would turn into what it's become, and obviously pushing everyone to. He was a cowboy, right? And I mean, it's his fault, but just say, hey, show some remorse. But he's just been just a dick about it. And I'm like, oh my God, show a bit of empathy.
Right.
How can you not say this is not your fault? There's all these guys who are dying under 40 of pills and like suicides and heart failures and all else.
Yeah.
So not a fan of him.
It's either his fault directly or indirectly, because look what he makes those guys go through. They'd have like 300 days a year on the road.
Yeah.
Right. So of course their family life struggles. They, I'm sure miss that. They're just constantly on the road all the time. What does that lead to? They're just partying every night. Yeah. So
well, and
one
just,
way or another, you're got some responsibility.
And he wasn't forcing quote steroids, but I mean, it was obviously highly you do it or you're not going to work.
Yeah.
But also he was handing out painkillers. Like you had painkillers. I'm sure there's a little jar in the corner.
Oh yeah.
Which we are these opioids. So I mean, let's just take painkillers and opioids alone, and how often he's making these guys work. That's a recipe for disaster. But yeah, then you add in steroids. It's like, oh my God.
That sounds like a doc I'll get into after football. That seems like a post-football season thing.
Episodes 1 to 3 or 4 are great. 5 it slows down a little bit, and then 6 is just baffling when it starts unraveling all this stuff and all his behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I started researching it a bit. So over not WWE wrestlers, but over 200 plus wrestlers have died under 41 years old since
200?
like the last. Yeah. And a lot of these are just kind of not backyard, but like random wrestling companies, but still. And they're all like 90% plus. I was just skimming through were suicide, drug related, or heart failure, which drug related, and overdose. And then under 50, there's 330 deaths, and the exact same thing, all overdose, suicide, or drug failure. So
Jesus.
That's and scary. Then right, it was just absolutely crazy. So it was a great watch, even if you don't like wrestling. It was interesting. They showed like his business side, which it was great to see that, and then it showed just his evil side. And John Cena, who seemed like he was pro Vince McMahon, at the end they asked him like, what's his legacy? They asked a bunch of people like, what's Vince McMahon's legacy? And John Cena said, quote, like, oh, I'm not the guy to ask about that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's not a good sign. Yeah. All right, well, back to football.
Good to get the wrestling talk in there.
Yeah, switch it up a little bit. I thought it was such an interesting documentary show, just for sports, life in general, just business.
Yeah,
it was if you don't like wrestling, still watch it.
How alone must he be?
That's the thing. It shows literally, like how terrible his relationship is with his son, and now I think because his daughter quit right when he retook shit over, so they had a decent relationship, but like now I think that might be strained.
Yeah,
and like,
it was out with the guy.
Exactly. Him and Trump are like besties. I guess his wife is on like Trump's like staff, or was at some point. And it was interesting to see because him and his dad, they had a interesting relationship, like basically a bad relationship until his dad passed.
Yeah.
And like he bought the company from his dad with like no money. He's like, watch, his startup is incredible. And then, so now he's like, Shane McMahon, his son, he's basically like, do what I did, you pussy, like, or else you're nothing. So it's rough out there for Shane. And then they show Shane jumping off cages and all this stuff. And like, that's how Shane was saying, like, this is how I try to get respect from my dad. I'm like, imagine smashing your head and jumping off cages for respect from your dad.
How did you get some respect by getting beat up by the Undertaker? That's awesome.
I mean, I guess that's fair. That you would get respect, but it just doesn't have to go that far.
Who knows? Who knows? Like, maybe such a disaster, maybe not.
Well, they showed him after that match. He got a hug, and like Shane was getting an interview, and he was like started tearing up. He's like, "I got a hug that day."
Yeah.
It's like, holy fuck.
Wow.
Yeah. We talk about replay and refereeing every week, but a loser again. Replay refereeing. We'll go to Texas Tech, Colorado. So at the end of the game, there was targeting, and real time, I'm like, oh my God, you can't spear a quarterback like that. And then there's a face mask, and I called out both penalties. They threw a flag for targeting. They go to replay, and it ended up like he hit him with the shoulder. It wasn't targeting, which fair enough. Like, sorry. And like you could see the targeting, but in front of the targeting, there was a face mask, and like the targeting happened behind.
Yeah.
And like, no call for targeting on the play. We picked up, and I was like, well, can't you call the face mask you blatantly see? Or like the Bengals game on Thursday Night Football where there's 3 face masks in one screenshot. It's like, and like, just like I've laughed every time I've watched it, but you're like, the goal of the game is to cross the goal line with the football in your hands from when the one Jets guy dropped the ball.
The guy just dropped it.
Yeah. So it's like the goal of replay is to get the correct call on the field. Like that's the whole reason.
Yeah.
Like if you walked into Goodell's office and he was sniffing money like Scrooge McDuck, and you're like, "Hey, Roger, what's the goal of replay and challenges?" Oh, it's to get the exact call right because something happened. Was it the Saints game? And now we want to make sure that we get calls right from here on out.
Rams in the playoffs back in the day.
Yeah. And we want to make sure we get the call right, so that's why we did it. Okay, but here's what happened in the Vikings game and the Bengals game and this college game. That's not you, but. So can you get those right? No. We can't do that.
No. Can't have it.
What?
I'm glad.
What are we doing?
I'm glad we went back to Thursdays because it's so good. Like we keep forgetting, and these Thursday games have been bananas lately, and something wild is going to happen. Like, but just to even before the refs, I do have to say because I think I texted you, I was watching it live in a wild Irish bar in Halifax, which is weird because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning there. It's 4 hours ahead of Pacific time, so it's like
you're asleep for 6 hours by then.
Usually, but now no, we're sitting at the bar having beers, watching the game, and I was just like, "Hey, if they score here, go for 2. You have to." We just talked about this last week, right?
Oh, you almost nailed it.
So I love it, but like, hey, Jamar Chase has like 47 catches and 300 yards. Fucking throw it to him when you go for 2. Okay, I don't care where he is or how many people are on him, throw him the ball. Like, unless somebody is wide ass open, like, and you've designed the perfect play where everyone's covering him and someone's standing there by himself, throw it to Jamar Chase. Like they almost nailed it, but it was the right call because there's no point in giving Lamar the ball back in overtime. None.
I had it down. You almost nailed it perfectly. So 2 days before this game, Blaze said 2 things like, want to know what people need to go for 2 in these situations, blah, blah, blah. Also, spread the offensive line out. We never see the QB draw anymore, where he just runs in either down the middle and spread everyone out, or he does like a little backdoor sneak. And the Bengals spread the line out. I was like, oh my God, are we going to see it? I thought we are going to see a QB draw from Burrow, and you'd have been a billion percent.
It's a double dip. But that's the right call. Like you have to go and win the game there. It's battling back and forth. You've shown you cannot stop Lamar. He was like, you could have given him the ball 10 more times. He was going to get 10 more touchdowns. So you might as well, because otherwise if he wins the toss in overtime, we lose. Right. So it was the right call. It just, the play didn't
especially
work
when
out.
they can't stop you. I mean, I've got down loser of the week, the Ravens. The Ravens are not winning the Super Bowl. I mean, they have the greatest offense. But 2 reasons. They can't stop anyone passing the ball.
No.
Not one, they have the worst or top 3 worst passing defense in the league. It's absolutely god-awful.
Terrible.
So they're screwed. And 2, Justin Tucker has the yips. So he's going to cost them games here and there, nonstop. Yeah. And I've got a Justin Tucker.
It's weird.
I've got a Tucker theory. So there's people, you're not like, I'm like this, you're not. You're more like cutthroat.
Yeah.
Where people like me and Justin Tucker, we're a bit more emotional. We like positivity and happiness, where you're like, no, fuck you, all, boo me all you want, I'll kill you. Like, we like people to like us. Tucker's like the most loved player in the league. He's having fun pressers and everyone loves him.
Yeah.
No reason not to. And then Travis Kelce and Mahomes got in his head and they threw, in the last AFC championship game, they threw his little kicking stuff and just giving him shit. And it was the first time no one's really liked him. And you don't want to be against Travis Kelce in this fucking day and age. That's for sure. You don't want to be on his
Yeah.
wrong side.
No.
All of a sudden, he's getting Swifty death threats, even though he did nothing. And so, you probably thought like, oh yeah, I love dapping up Mahomes. I love dapping up Kelce, which I would love. And all of a sudden, it's like these really nice guys are being dicks to you. I'm like, oh, they got in his head, and I think he's fucked now. So
yeah,
that's
that could be because he's been in circus this year, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He was foolproof. Like he was a kicker that was foolproof.
He was, and just had leg on him too. Outrageous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they ran a stat last night where it's 50 yarders at a 71% click, the highest in the NFL ever. So kickers
sure.
everywhere doing it.
I didn't know the number, but if you would ask me, is this like the highest percentage of 50 yarders ever? And attempts, I think it feels like attempts are double.
Yeah, it's crazy.
These guys are just absolutely bombing balls.
Collinsworth had a great call on Sunday night where he was like, if there was just one more coat of paint on the uprights, he would have missed both of them. The Detroit kicker.
Yeah. Oh man, and squeezed in on either side.
Yeah. But another loser, ball spotting, and we talk about this every week. But I want the Commanders to lose every game because of my terrible Jaden Daniels sake. Yeah. How is that not a first down? Like, and how do we not have better spotting for that being a first down? Like, what is happening?
I don't know.
What happened? And he caught it. What happened to what's the word I'm looking for? Where you catch it and you run backwards, but it's like my mind's not working because I'm on baby brain. Yeah. But like you already made the line to gain, so you can't go backwards.
Oh yeah, like forward momentum, forward progress.
Forward progress. Thank you.
Yeah.
He had forward progress, and then like his own momentum took him backwards.
But if he does it himself, then that's different than if you're forced backwards. If you do it yourself, then that's on you.
Yeah.
Right?
So
like regardless of how far you got, if you're the one who went back, then that's on you. It's if you get the line and then you're pushed back and you have forward momentum.
Well, because he was like sliding. Like I get it if you're running backwards and you like do it purposefully to be an idiot and try and get more yards, then cool. But he was just like caught it and slid, so he's like slid the other way. So absolutely insane that they get that. And again, back to my rule last week, the reward greatness rule.
Yeah.
50-50. Everyone wants more football. Like you want more football, NFL. How do you not just give that first down and reward greatness and want to see Jaden Daniels, who's going to be the face of the league at some point, potentially, go for a win? So I'm happy it didn't happen, but
I think you're just accept defeat on that one.
No doubt.
You got the Caleb Williams one right. You thought
there you go. And Richardson too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Will Levis.
And Drake May.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get into Patriots. Let's get into Patriots corner.
Yes.
Holy.
That's looking good. Hey, they battled. It's still like an absolute band of misfits on offense. Like Kendrick Bourne didn't even dress. They just set him down. The O-line, they played better, but there's still just some reps you're looking going, oh, wow. Like how do you get overrun like that? But Drake does just enough, right? Like he and there you can see their defensive plan was to not let him run. He only really got free one time, and they did a good job with that. Like they were spying him, but it was like an old school Patriots defense where they just seemed to have the answers, and they dared Williams to just be precise with his passes outside, and he couldn't do it.
No.
And they gave him nothing over the middle, and they were just on him. 9 sacks, like 2 of them coming from a special teamer that they put it on some defensive series just to spy him a couple times, and it worked. Things are good. Yeah. We just hopefully don't fall out of the top 10 draft wise, but I said all offseason, you know what, we're gonna compete. I'm not going to make splash. We're going to at least like have it in the sights. And if you look at against Miami, Brissett throws a brutal pass that should have been a walk-off touchdown. Against Seattle, a completely made-up pass interference call in overtime, like completely made up. Like it's a 5-win team, and you're in range now. Not saying that they're in the playoffs and they would do anything if they got there, but like it's not. They're not. They're not Carolina. They're not junk. So
why did they they know they have a franchise QB? Why did they just toss this year in the bin from the offseason? Why weren't they signing guys? I don't understand this whatsoever.
They tried, honestly. I mean, they tried to sign Calvin Ridley. They tried to trade for Ayuk. I think until people saw what Drake May was, who wants to go there? Like if you're a receiver, you go there and play with Jacoby Brissett. It's a tough sell. So this year they're going to have an absolute ton of cap space, and I think you'll see them spend. And hopefully they end up with a decent draft pick that's not now looking more like it's going to be kind of 6 to 12ish, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
it means that they're starting to play competitive football. I can live with that.
Yeah, no, it's a ton of low linemen in it too coming in the draft. So
yeah, and no real sure things. It sounds like as far as the line goes, a lot of maybes. So I don't know that I want to put like a top 5 pick on someone unless it's going to be the kid from Detroit or something like that. You can't just on a maybe tackle, you can't wait to top 5 pick there. So
yeah,
we'll see. Long way to go, but I think they're going to battle.
Yeah. Speaking of that game, Caleb Williams, we've talked about his infamous quote many a time, but for people who don't know or who haven't listened, he texted the punter who got drafted as well on the same draft night, and he said, just so you know, we're not going to be punting. You're not going to be punting very much.
Yeah.
So he punted 8-9 times last night or Sunday, and 45 punts this year, which is 3rd or 4th in the NFL, and they haven't had their bye week yet. So I mean, if you take they're probably top 1 or 2 if you average it out.
Add another 8 in there.
And then a new stat came across where the punter has more air yards than Caleb Williams has total yards.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Not looking good for Caleb. Yeah.
That's tough. 23 straight drives they haven't scored a touchdown.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Bad.
Especially with like all that talent, too, that they have on offense. Yeah. And I've never liked DeAndre Swift whatsoever. I think he's just a fake running back. Yeah. And now we're starting to see it. Like, he's fast, but he's not creating stuff. And he was always injured.
Totally.
College football, I got it as a winner. Just so every week, we've talked about this every week, but do or die games is great. I thought it was this week, but it's next week. The Hoosiers. I've got, if people out there, if you want to bet, the bet of the week for next week, college football, it'll be week 12 or 11.
I think 12.
All right, college football week 12, bet of the week, whatever the line is, it better be over 9 points. But OSU is going to absolutely demolish the Hoosiers. Indiana.
Ooh.
They have no chance. Indiana, I've called out frauds. I've called out Iowa State's a fraud. Penn State's a fraud. They've played nobody whatsoever. And I guess you have to rank them in the top 9, 8, whatever they are, because they are undefeated. But OSU is going to absolutely dog walk them. So that's my bet of the week. Whatever, spend all your money on whatever the spread is. Because it's going to be.
Let's not hope for too much, though, because let's not forget that they got Curtis Rourke playing quarterback. He's a Canadian kid. So
okay.
Let's not wish for them to get completely curb stomped, but I think you're probably right.
Yeah. All right. I didn't know Chubba Hubbard was Canadian.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Edmonton.
Yeah. And also, I have him as a winner and the Panthers as a loser. So thank you. We're good for Chubbard. Yeah. Signed a big $33 million contract on Friday, which is great. Running backs aren't getting paid. He got paid. Love it. Panthers, worst franchise in the NFL. Just so you know, nobody pays running backs, number 1, and you just paid Chubba Hubbard. Number 2, you signed a franchise, or you drafted a franchise running back in this year's draft who is just ready now to take the reins. So you put in draft capital and now financial capital into, it'd be like Jonathan Brooks out of Texas.
Oh, wow. Right.
So why are you paying? I mean, I'm happy that you paid it, but what are you doing? That'd be like, I don't know. Signing, it's just stupid. Like a quarterback for whatever it is.
A lot of sense.
No, it's the dumbest thing ever. So Panthers are going to panther, as you like to say.
Yeah, they're a rudderless ship. They really are. But hey, you know what? I will say, one bright side there, though. I mean, obviously Chubba, but Bryce Young hasn't looked completely lost the last couple of games. He's getting sat down. Maybe he's done as good. He's still not playing great, but he hasn't looked like as completely useless as he did before. So good for him. It's you never know how these young kids are going to take it, right? When they come up and then they get sat down, you never know how they're going to bounce back. But I think it says a lot about that kid's maturity that he, he's come back and he's been serviceable.
Yeah, it's nice to see like a player, just like you said, not just pout and be like, "Oh, woe's me," and go out and do party, whatever the hell. But he's actually coming around, taking on the chin well. I like it. Loser and a winner. Jalen Hurts MVP chat. I had him top 5 in the power rankings. He might be. He's all right. He's doing okay.
He's all right. Yeah, he's fine when he's got all the time in the world to throw and someone's wide open. Yes, he's good.
Yeah,
Like if they play against a good defense, like
I
can
I
we
could see
please?
that.
And I get it, the Eagles are playing better, and I know I'm
Hmm.
always hard on them. I still think their coach is an idiot, but let's look at the teams they've beaten. Come on,
Hmm.
they haven't beaten anybody. They beat the
No.
Packers in Week 1 in a game that could have gone either way. Then it's been like
Yeah.
Dallas, Giants, Jacksonville. Like I think there might be an Indy in there. Like they haven't beaten
Yeah.
anybody, so let's not get too carried away.
And they're built to play from in front too, because once
Yes,
obviously Saquon's running down your throat, all of a sudden play action
he's
and
so good.
Hurt says so much. Who I've
Yeah,
got a loser, Saquon Barkley fantasy owners, where he's already top 2 fantasy running back or
yeah,
player in the world.
yeah.
But he could have 10 more touchdowns if he didn't play in Philadelphia. The poor guy gets
Easily,
knocked down on the 1 yard
easily.
line 100 times.
God, it's annoying. As someone who does have him on my main fantasy team, yes, it's painful, especially when I can't stand the Eagles. I just had to take him. I just knew he was going to be that good.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, gets down there
I'm
and they
just
just do that stupid little tush push play. Like, so
and I've got Jalen Hurts in multiple leagues, so I'm happy about it, but it's not sustainable. And I'm just thankful that Jalen Hurts is black, because we could really have like a Varsity Blues Bud Kilmer situation here.
Totally. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Wow, that would be a problem.
It sure would. So yeah, Eagles watch.
Big
What
game
else do we have?
Thursday. Big game Thursday.
What is the game?
Eagles commies.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be great.
yeah. I don't. That's a tough spot, I think, for the commies. Like
Yeah.
playing Thursday.
I,
You know,
I don't think the commies are like Jaden Daniels is good, but I think
yeah,
defensively they're absolute trash. They haven't played anyone.
yeah,
So
yeah. They could be
yeah.
in. It could be a big day of offense for Philly, but we'll see. Thursday games
Yeah.
are weird, man. You never know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
just think it's
especially I mean,
tough.
it could be a superhero game for Jaden, which we've seen already, where he just
Yeah,
keeps on bombing the ball, and everyone's like, "Holy shit, this guy's for real!" So,
yeah. And nobody can
his
cover Terry McLaurin apparently. The whole league.
no
No way.
F1 legend.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
he's so
I
good.
guess I wonder what percent. You've always been this way, but just like everyone is, I guess. Confidence, like
Yeah.
so, Jaden Daniels' confidence is just how much like legit actual confidence has like to impact on you as like a quarterback. Like, is that
Oh,
20% of like the skill? What is it? 50% for it? It's just crazy because you can see he's glowing out there.
yeah,
There's
absolutely.
no, it's outrageous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I got a winner since we're so hard on refs, and you'll like this being an umpire referee yourself. Sean Hockley went to Germany
Yeah.
and he made a call in German, and the fans loved it.
Did he?
Yeah. And his dad, I guess, did that in Mexico City, made a call in Spanish. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what a genius move.
I
Get the
like
crowd
that.
on your side instantly.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't an NFL marketing gimmick and he just came up with himself. And then
Probably
I
not if his
thought,
dad did it, right? Like,
yeah,
I love that. And that is a good family of officials though, because
yeah,
Hockley was awesome. And now
sure
his kid's
was.
kind of picking up after him a little bit. I like it.
And then
In the weight room too. He's picking up
yeah.
after dad in the weight room.
I thought, what a great move. Players, take note of the refs here. You go to Germany if you're any star player, and you could have all of Germany be Germany's favorite player. Just go out and speak a little German, like one sentence,
Right?
or have a shirt. You know, you score a touchdown, you lift the shirt up, it's some German expression. You'll be
Yeah.
the favorite player in Germany for the history of the world. So, I mean, you're really missing out here. Even in London, you just whatever it is. So they miss out on a chance there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have. Did you see a Will Levis play of the week? I have a quote of the week, but not a play of the week.
I think maybe you might have to go with Trey Lance, like you said. That one that was quite something.
Yeah, and then he fumbles the ball, and the announcer, whoever it was like, "Oh, we got a little Keystone Cops going on out here."
Mm-hmm.
Even the announcers were just checked out of the game. They're just talking
Cue
shit.
the music. Cue the music. So
Like,
good.
this game is such dog shit. We're just gonna say whatever we want. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the quote of the week. So I sent you the screenshot of, for anyone who doesn't follow, I'm sure everyone's seen this, but the Cowboys have a giant window that during the fall comes through, and the sun's just brutal in their players' eyes. So there's a picture of the same sun in like one of the conference rooms in Coach Mike McCarthy's eyes, and they put a giant sunshade to give him shade in the
Yeah.
conference room,
Yeah.
and then they juxtapose it with a picture of CeeDee Lamb with the sun in his eyes from their giant window, and they're like, "Oh, if only we had a way to solve this."
Way to block the sun out.
Yeah.
Jeez, who could have thought of that? But isn't
And
that
speak.
pretty much like emblematic of the Cowboys, though? Like
Oh yeah.
Jerry just cares more about the press conference than the field, anyway. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Exactly.
hey, let's make sure that no hiccups at the presser. Okay, no hiccups at the press conference, because if I get up there and the sun's in my eyes, somebody's fired. Right?
Yeah.
Someone is 100% fired. But it happens on the field, and he's just like he's hobnobbing in the luxury box. He doesn't give a
Yeah.
shit.
Well, and here's his quote. He goes, because he's just pissed off about the questions about the sun. And he's got his feet dug in like me with Jaden Daniels, where he's like, no, everything's fine. Like, I'm right. Again, he's a billionaire. No one can tell him anything. He knows it all. He already had the Jumbotron too low. They screwed up on this window.
Yeah.
But his quote about the sun coming through, he goes, I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. We get to know that almost a year in advance. So someone asked me about the sun. And what about the sun? Where's the moon? That was it.
No, that's not what he said.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what he said. He's going full
fuck.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, he's about the same age, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's going to be too much. And it's going to keep happening more with these big name owners in the NFL that are getting older and older, but it seems to be getting more access. They need to stop putting them on in front of microphones.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to have to stop because he's a mess.
Well, someone finally talked to the idiot I hate, the Colts owner, because he hasn't talked for a while, right? Or maybe he's just in rehab or something.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in a while.
He must be in rehab, I bet.
Wow.
Hey.
Or clogging up somebody's toilet in their house again, like he did to McDaniels.
Yes, exactly. Do you have any other winners, losers out there? I'm scrolling through the article.
I should have wrote it down here, but I did have another one I can't think right now. But if it comes to me, I'll let you know.
Okay. Auburn Tigers, a little basketball news. So 2 players, they turned the flight around. 2 players got in a fist fight on the plane on the way to Houston. They had to turn the flight around back to Alabama, and they kicked them off. They weren't allowed back on the plane. They're the 11th ranked team in college, and they're on their way to play the 4th best team in Houston. So it was like, not the time.
Not the time.
No.
Actually, the video I sent you yesterday could be considered a loser. The security guy for Shadir Sanders?
It wasn't security. It wasn't security. It was his brother.
Who was that? That's the youngest brother?
That was Deion Sanders Jr. or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Both of those Sanders boys, shut the fuck up and get off the field. Like all the ball boys doing is trying to get the ball. Like
I don't know. He was like grabbing at it. I'm pro Texas Tech.
Yeah.
That Texas Tech kid
went
a little far.
He doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to say anything there.
I'd be like, dude, get the fuck. I would do the exact same thing. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Especially like the ambiance in that Texas Tech Colorado game was incredible.
It was. It was good.
Oh my god.
We still don't need little 5'2" mini Dion pushing somebody. Come on. It's lucky that ball boy didn't knuckle him. How short that guy was. Come on.
How great is Colorado? I was thinking about this because with the Vince McMahon stuff, he's one of the greatest of what he's doing because he's been the heel. He's been like the bad guy, which people love to hate someone more than they like to like someone. So he's why WWE's taken off because everyone's just love to hate him. Yeah. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, they're successful because everyone hates them. And it's like Colorado, Deion's just done it. You know, they're just loud. They're doing better this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, now I'm watching the game. I watched that game obviously because it's Texas Tech, but so many people are watching the game because they want to see him fail or they want to see him win. Mm-hmm. But he's great for college football.
He's shoving it there too. I mean, but he's not a good coach. Like, I think he's good at getting the kids there, and then they're designing some nice plays. But fuck, his clock management and his decisions.
Yeah,
he's like McFakey down in Miami.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up when you were talking about the bad clock management in Miami. But our friend is a Colorado fan. We're all in
losing his mind. Absolutely losing his mind because they just won't run the ball ever. They're just like
they could have sunk Tech like with 10 minutes to go and 8 minutes to go and 5 minutes to go and 2 minutes to go, and somehow we're still in the game. And I'm like, oh yeah,
come on, let's go. Let's get Shady some more stats.
Especially against like the vaunted Texas Tech defense, you wouldn't want to run the ball against us.
Right? He makes some bad decisions.
Yeah. Maybe we might have a running back in the draft, Tajee Brooks. He's setting records. Yeah.
he looks like a load too. Like he is
Mm-hmm.
put together.
Also dumb. I mean, he ran the ball the entire way down the field. We
Yeah,
get inside the 5. You wouldn't want
let's
to run
go.
the ball once. What the
Yep,
fuck?
4 passes. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my god. We're
It's
just
painful to watch sometimes,
yeah.
man.
And then I mean, we can even stay on college. So we've got SMU maybe going for the title in the ACC, and we've got BYU for the title in the Big 12.
Ugh.
And it's just SMU. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in BYU. It's just
I don't even
yeah.
know where SMU is.
It's in
Is it
Dallas.
okay?
It's like a real rich kid school.
Oh,
So it's a
gotcha.
private school.
So they
Yeah.
don't even need the NIL money.
No, they. I think that's why they might be back again. So like George Bush, I had
Yeah.
a friend who went to SMU. Like always speaks at the like graduate ceremony, and
Okay.
yeah, it's right in the heart of Dallas. Private. Remember, because they were good way back in the day, right before they got screwed or before they screwed themselves.
Well, yeah, they got the death penalty, didn't they?
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Wasn't it Eric Dickerson and those guys?
Yeah, something like
I
that.
think, and then they got just flat out like, you don't have a football team anymore. Out.
Yeah. And
And
then my buddy Josh was saying, I guess like 4 or 5 of their best players are Miami transfers. So I assume if
okay.
you went to Miami and you left Miami, probably some money involved.
something,
so
something.
so yeah,
Or counterpoint, you got into trouble, and the cartel was like, you don't live in Miami anymore,
that could be another thing too.
right?
Miami players do like to get in trouble.
Yes, yes.
except for the golden boy, Calais Campbell. We got to shout out my man.
My
What a
God,
legend. I was thinking about I got a knee replacement surgery. I haven't played actual legit soccer for 10, 15 years. I played rec sports and I'm getting a knee replacement surgery. This guy has played in the NFL at a high level, year 17, and he's just beast moding people still. I don't understand.
Stafford at one point last night. You just know he was like, somebody do something about this fucking Calais Campbell guy. Like he's in my face every play. He's knocking down passes. He's tackles for loss. He's chasing me out of the pocket. Like, come on, enough with this guy already. And he's just so big too. I can't even imagine what it's like when he's running at you and you have to throw. And you're just like, well,
yeah,
like, where do I go?
yeah.
And you can't run away from him. Like he's just tenacious too. Like what a player.
I got to show you. See if I can pull it up real quick. A picture of his son. How old is He's got to be only. Don't get mad at me, Claes or Rocio, but he's between. I don't know any child's age, but he's between like 4 and 6.
Yeah.
And can you see?
Okay.
He's like 6'1". His child is enormous. I was like, oh my God, what? How?
Does he have recruiting offers already?
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
So the son is going to be a load as well.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
mean, it makes sense though. So how big are the other brothers?
They're all loads. Like his one brother, Severin, is probably about 6'1", 6'2", but like playing basketball with him, he's the most explosive human being I've ever seen. Like he gets a rebound and it's like, you don't want to be around because his knees are going to hit me in the face when we're playing basketball. And like the ground just springs. Like he just explodes off the ground. He's got a gnarly scar from like his quad all the way down to his like ankle from a knee surgery back then.
Yeah.
He played at North Dakota or somewhere. I got it, whatever it is. He played somewhere and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
Jared played at Miami. He's smaller, but he was the youngest. And we played flag football and like now he's gotten a little heavier. And we make fun of each other. And, you know, I think of myself as like the same level of sports, which maybe other sports I am, but I never think about him as just this. He's a comedian. He's jovial. He makes fun of himself.
Yeah.
We went out and played flag football and like people are joking about him. He's in his 30s now. And oh my God, he's just smooth. He covering guys. Like no one was getting anywhere wide open. Like not even open. It was nice. I'm sure these are rec football people. Mm-hmm. I picture him as like a rec football guy. And I wouldn't stay with these guys and I'm okay at flag football. He was just like, oh my God, he's insane. So,
I love it.
And then Raj, have I ever told you the Raj Campbell story?
I don't think so.
With your boy A-Rod. So Raj Campbell, Calais Campbell's brother, older brother, he played football at this little lesser known school called Butte Community College. And this is my favorite football story.
Yeah.
So Raj is playing, and in comes this quarterback named Aaron. And Raj is the number one receiver on the team. And oh my God, Raj tells the story. He's like, I'm the greatest wide receiver in the history of the world. I mean, I'm turning around, boom, touchdown, yards, touchdowns. It's Aaron Rodgers is his quarterback at Butte Junior College. And Raj is just on fire, untouchable. He's like, I can't wait. I'm going to get offers to D1, all this stuff. Aaron transfers to Cal, a junior college, typical college quarterback comes in.
Yeah.
And he's like, the ball is sailing over my head. He's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, he's like, I am no longer the Raj Campbell I was. Like, just absolutely insane. The ball is flying everywhere.
Trying to find his freshman tape to send out. No. Yeah. Look at last year. Look at last year. Here it is. Look.
Yeah. Raj tells the story. You'd like run and you would turn, and all of a sudden the ball was like right in his eyes. Like, he was just saying Rodgers was throwing insane darts.
Yeah, he used to be so talented. So talented.
Yeah. And then Raj is just so smooth. Like, he floats when he runs, and great hands, obviously. He's like 6'2". So yeah, all the brothers are pretty
big and athletic, and then but Calais is just
and probably all kick the shit out of each other. So lots of strength in that
except
family.
him. Except him.
Yeah, except for him.
I would imagine he was on the end of too many of the beatings, unless it was 3-on-1.
One time, I don't think I told this story on the podcast. One time I went, my favorite Calais story, least favorite and favorite Calais story, we're partying at this lake, and all these boats in Indianapolis are tied up for like 30 boats that way, 30 boats this way. And I'm an idiot, and I have to go to the bathroom, and I jump off the front, and I go pee in the lake. Sorry, everyone, but Geist Lake, or reservoir, it's a reservoir, not a lake, in Indianapolis, is already disgusting. And I'm like, I look up, and I'm like, shit, I have to swim, and I've had a few drinks all the way around the boats, because you can't obviously get up the front of a boat, and I can't go in between them, and I'll get crushed because they're all tied up.
Bad decision.
And Calais is like, come here. And he's standing in a boat, which is like standing on 2 tables or 3 tables, like high in the air, right? Like and he leans down and grabs me out of the water and plunks me down on the boat. And he might as well tap me on the head.
Yeah.
And I was like, Calais, don't you ever fucking touch me like that ever again. There are women everywhere. You just made me look like an absolute,
like my child.
Yeah. I can't even pick Lukai up out of the water like that. You just put me down. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, dude, never do that again. Thank you, but never, ever.
You know, it would have been great if you'd have been like, don't you ever fucking do that again. If he would just grabbed you and just yarded you right back into the water. Like, okay, you sorted it out.
Well, it is kind of what happened, because then he's like, what are you going to do? And then I pushed him and I hurt my wrist. And then he's like, get the fuck out of here. Or no, first he goes, get out of here. And he pushed me. And I went back like 5 feet.
Yeah.
And I pushed him with both my hands. Nothing happened. He pushed me again, like lightly, flew back. Yeah. Then he turned his back. And I took 2 or 3 steps. I didn't hit him too hard, obviously, because not like I could hurt the guy, but you never want it. So I hit him as hard as I could in his thigh. Maybe not as hard, but you know. And it was like I ran into like the wall. I was just like, and I fell down. I'm like, holy fuck, what is this guy made out of?
It's so different. There's just different people. It's amazing.
So he's amazing.
And he's not done. He could play next year too, the way he's going.
I was talking with Jared on the podcast, and I was like, why would you not? You know, you can be serviceable for another 3 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
They must have got some calls, right? Like the Dolphins must have got some calls at the trade deadline.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It sounded like him, no, like he doesn't want to leave. Like he's set up shop here now, but like they must have gotten a call. A contender somewhere must have made a phone call. Like, hey, like bring a veteran leader like that in.
Yeah,
it'd be crazy not to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Tell him to go to New England next year. He can ride the May train to Super Bowl.
May train, settle down. Do you want to get in some picks, or you got stuff to do? What do you feeling?
Yeah, let's fly through them.
All right. Eagles Commanders. Eagles are 3.5 favorites.
Okay.
What do you think? I gotta drink this coffee because it's 5 p.m. and I'm gonna be up.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. I just think that's a short rest. I think it's tough to throw Jane Daniels out there, and he's stepping up in class too compared to what they've been playing.
Yeah, you talked me out of it because you're the one to not take the Eagles. So if you were taking the Eagles, I'm going to take the Eagles. But I was thinking maybe a little backdoor cover. But I think you're right.
I'm not happy about it. But
the Commanders' defense is trash.
Yeah, they're garbage.
All right, we got Colts Jets in the shit game of the week.
No, thank you.
Speaking of Richardson, this is great for us because I hate the Colts. You don't like the
Yeah,
Colts. So Richardson is not good, trash.
trash.
But now Flacco's come in and he's kind of not done too well,
Yeah, he's
whether
turned
it's
into
his
a
fault or
pumpkin.
not. Yeah. So now do they go back to Richardson? And then are they all like, because, when you make this pick, you want to be right.
Yeah.
So now are they going to talk themselves into, oh no, Richardson just needs another couple years and they just
Oh yeah.
don't draft the quarterback next
100%.
year or the year. So now they're just going to ride the Richardson train.
They got to. They got to at least try one more time. Like,
Yeah.
They got it.
So the Jets are 4-point favorites. I'm not touching this game. I'll probably actually just take the points. I'll be taking the Colts for sure.
Yeah, that's the only play I see. It's certainly not. Yeah, I wouldn't bet any money on that game. By the way, I did win my pick'em pool last week. The spread.
Ooh,
yeah, it's nice. 12.
Nice.
Yeah,
look at you.
Yeah,
I think our parlay of the week maybe hit too. It had the Patriots in there and some other good ones.
Yeah, we did. It was all thanks to my buddy Joe, that cocksucker. He was lipping me off saying how bad I was doing the picks this year. And he kept telling everyone to fade me. His picks are horseshit. And I'm like, all right, well, let's bet. We'll bet the rest of the way head to head. And then I went and won the week, so I'm already 3 up on him.
Nice. Speaking of bets, I made a $100 bet with our buddy Mike. He's a Tua apologist. And it was before they played, Miami played Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm surprised he took it. I was like, Miami will not be over 500 this season. Like, I saw the rest of their teams they were playing. I thought the Jets are a bit better before, like 2 weeks ago, than I do now. But I was like, dude, there's no chance you're winning half the games, let alone they need to win more than half the games to get 500. And sure enough, they lost to Kyler. He's not. I was like, oh yeah, we're good.
Good win last night. Got to give them that.
Yeah,
they played well. But, I mean, they didn't play well, but they played well enough.
Yeah. How about loser? The Rams, when they're saying, "Oh, we don't care about the draft," it's like, have you seen what happens when you actually do the draft?
Yeah,
you do pretty fucking good.
They got some dudes.
Imagine you had Puka, and they had a list of other people they had in like the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds. They haven't had a first round pick in 6 years or something.
Yeah,
like
7.
Imagine you had the Puka draft, but in the first round. But
no doubt. Well, and that verse that they got in the first round last year, that kid's an animal. Holy cow, he's good.
I don't know why Buzz expecting him to be white.
It does kind of sound like he should be, right?
Yeah, I saw him. I was like, oh, that's not what I was thinking. But yeah, who have they gotten out of, like, so they obviously got the trade with Goff and Staffy. They lost 1 first round pick there, right?
Oh, I think they lost a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But who else have they gotten with these picks? Oh, Ramsey. They traded for Ramsey.
Yeah. Yeah, they just always found a way.
Oh, no, they traded away Ramsey, didn't they? Or they got him for a lot.
They traded for him. Yeah.
For a lot of money, or for a lot of picks.
Traded back, yeah.
Okay.
But tough one for the Rams. You lose to the Dolphins, then now you got to go and go into the Patriots' den next week. Losing streak for the poor Rams.
Yeah.
Tough.
Also, uncanny. Only the Dolphins could do this. I was thinking about it. Yeah. So I give shit to Dolphins fans in Miami, or Mike, that obviously Tua can't beat a team with a winning record. He never does. He's trash. Only Miami could lose to the Cardinals to give them a winning record, when I think they're one of the most fraudulent teams with like a good record.
Yeah.
So somehow they lost them. So like it gave them a good winning record. And then they beat the Rams, which gave them a losing record. So it's like, still, I would have flipped that. I would have thought if you put a gun to my head, I would have flipped those games. But
yeah. I don't know. I think we're sleeping on Arizona. I think they're looking to make it good for the playoffs. They're better than people I think have been giving them credit for.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's good.
Which, I mean, prior to the season, could you name more than Budda Baker? I still can't name more than Budda Baker on their defense. Like that's...
No, I could name. Yeah. Yeah, not many. That Javen Collins guy still there? Whatever his name was. Like.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh no. Yeah. Also, I've confused myself. The Big 12 and back to college for some reason. Big 12 and ACC. Who plays in the championship game? Isn't it just the top 2 teams?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason, like the announcers are like, Miami has no chance to play in the if they lose this game, or no chance. But I'm like, dude, they can still easily be top 2.
Unless they have divisions. But
no, it doesn't look like it. No, they're all straight up. So I'm like,
looks like none of them have divisions. Well, the SEC I think does.
Yeah. I'm like, what am I missing here? So yeah.
Yeah.
It could be BYU versus Colorado in the Big 12. I guess Colorado makes sense. And then Clemson, SMU in the ACC, or Miami, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. And then they both get completely walked in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the other. Write it down now. Anyone who comes out will absolutely get killed.
Yes, for sure.
I think Alabama's up to third. I can't believe it.
What?
Yeah, I think they're up to third in the rankings.
In the country?
Yeah.
Really?
No, in the country, yes.
How? They have two lost. Alabama is third?
I think so. Let me pull it up to make sure.
Or like
standings.
third in the SEC. They have to be behind Texas and Tennessee.
Oh, maybe third in the ACC. But I thought they went up to third in the ranking. Or SEC, sorry.
No.
All right.
But if they keep it up, they'll be making the playoffs, and ain't nobody wants to play them.
No, yeah, well, that's what I was saying when I brought that up, because talking about the winner of the Big 12 and the winner of the ACC, like Alabama's just going to absolutely kill whoever it is.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be 2 SEC teams in the championship. I just don't believe in Oregon as much as SEC teams from the size we talked about last week.
Yeah.
And then OSU is good, but I can just watch. Like these SEC teams are so battle tested where I'm watching.
They are, but they're also vulnerable. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think I can see. I think it'll be SEC Big Ten would be my prediction.
Yeah. All right, let me get back. Pull up some scores. We got Baltimore Steelers. One of the games of the week.
Good one.
Steelers, I think, are 3-point favorites.
Wow.
Make sure.
Wow, that's a coin flip.
Oh, sorry, Ravens 3-point favorites on the road.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh getting 3 at home.
Yep.
I think you got to take that. Hope that to go to 3.5.
Especially, I mean, the Steelers can throw the ball. They can run the ball.
Yeah.
Play much better defense than the Ravens.
Much better.
It'll be interesting to watch Lamar in this game.
Yeah.
That'll be a great game to watch.
Absolutely.
Ooh, a game I'm taking hands down. Vikings-Titans. Vikings are 6-point favorites on the road against the Titans.
Oh.
Can you guess the over-under?
39?
Oh, look at you. 39 and a half. Yeah. Holy.
Nice.
It's like we're professionals with the podcast here.
How about that? Maybe we need to guess the over-under.
Yeah.
Find a copy, Bill and Sal.
Yeah. How the fuck could you? I can't barely even guess the line.
I would have obviously 39 and a half, but I just 39 is the number that said.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Vikings 6-point favorites. I'm taking the Vikings all day. Will Levis back in the starting saddle.
Back in the saddle. Brian Flores is going to completely mind bend him. He'll be seeing ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look out.
In fantasy, I started doing everything I could to get the Vikings defense because obviously I'm a Vikings fan. I never get Vikings players. And then I saw their schedule from 2 weeks ago for the next 6-7 weeks, and it is god awful. There's until they start playing Detroit and Green Bay, they've got the Titans last week. They had whoever they're playing. So
nice.
Also, Vikings fan, I've never once had Justin Jefferson in any fantasy team. So excited. I finally got him in my other Guillotine League last week. Someone tried to trade me for him because we can trade for some reason in our Guillotine League. Nobody does it, but you can. And I was like, no, I'm not giving him up. And then he gets me 4 points. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I finally got you.
I know. I've had him all year, and he's been slumping lately. But hopefully some big things coming.
Yeah. Brown Saints. I don't know. This is a terrible game. Yeah.
Winnie revenge game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Browns.
Yeah, and the Saints are favored 1.5 points.
Yeah, Winnie revenge game. Got to take the Browns.
I like it. That'll be in the parlay of the week for sure. Oh, Vegas is finally believing. I think this might be the highest spread of the year.
Oh, no.
Lions, Jaguars. Guess that line.
Oh, fuck. 13.5.
You've got it up. You're cheating.
I don't. 13. I swear to God.
I'm looking
in my kitchen right now.
You're lying. Yeah. Oh, you can't have a phone in your kitchen? No phones in the kitchen.
Honestly, I'm not looking at anything. That was completely a guess. Just makes sense.
Blaiso's on fire.
Yeah. On fire.
13. And then what I love about this, because we know Detroit loves to just kick the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
Normally with a 13-point spread, you see a bit of a lower over-under, but it's 48. So they're not only are they going to cover, it's also going to be 35-10.
100%. Yeah, that's an easy bet. I like that one.
Yeah. This game could have been better at the start of the year before we found out the Bears are not Well, I already knew the Bears aren't good. So, listeners, I made a bet at the start of the year because I was fading Caleb Williams huge. Thank God I didn't do this with the Commanders. I did
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels passing yards in a bunch of bets, but I didn't do wins, thank God. But I put $100 Bears not to make the playoffs. And then last week, my bet of the week last week was Bears not to have 7.5 wins. So, anyways, fading the Bears. Packers off the bye week on the road, 6.5 point favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, that line seems all right.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take the Packers. They can run the ball well.
They can. Those division games are tough. That's a lot. That's kind of one of those ones that you got to wait till you get to Saturday and see what the weather is.
Yeah. Yeah, the weather could be big. I made a rushing leader, which we got some crazy rushing players, but I did Josh Jacobs to be win the rushing league. Oh, we got Puppy watch.
He's telling me it's walk time. He's like, hey, Dad, rapid fire then picks.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we'll get in here. I'm taking the Packers 6.5. Raiders Dolphins, a shit game. Dolphins are 7.5 point favorites.
Where is it?
In Miami.
Oh yeah, Dolphins big.
Yeah.
Raiders stink.
Miami
out loud.
Yeah. And the Dolphins are such front runners. Once they get ahead, all of a sudden A-Chain breaks an 80-yarder.
Yeah.
The only time he can run. Ooh, the Rams Patriots. I know where you're going. The Rams are 5-point favorites.
In our house?
Yeah.
That's blasphemous.
The den, as we call it, apparently.
What an insult that is. Holy, take those points and run. Can we tease that with a couple other ones and get more there and just really rub it in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially if the Rams lost to the Dolphins that bad. Surely they're not. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
There's some stinky games.
Although the Jared Verse against our D-line is not going to be a fair fight.
No. Falcons Broncos. What do you think about the Broncos? The Broncos are favored in this game, which I would not have thought. I mean, I guess their defense is pretty good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the defense is good. Peyton seems to be on a bit of a roll. He's got his team figured out, right? Like he just figures out ways to play to win. And he's been in that division for a long time, so he knows the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Denver?
In Denver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought? I think the Falcons they're fine. They're average. Denver's average. Mm-hmm. That game's a coin toss.
I would have thought the Broncos are stinky and the Falcons are doing well, but Broncos are 5-5.
Yeah, they're not bad. Then they a blocked field goal away from beating the Chiefs last week.
Oh yeah. Would you want to go off on the Chiefs? Absolutely insane. There was a soccer team like this. It was Chelsea back in 2000s where they're winning the weirdest games, and I was like, they're the team of destiny, which Chelsea wasn't as good as the Chiefs, so that the Chiefs can't really be a team of destiny because they're already good, but this seems a bit of a team of destiny type, Swifty magic.
Sure does.
Absolutely winning games in the most ridiculous.
Sure does.
Mahomes doesn't deserve to win games like this. It's not fair for the rest of the league.
I know, because then he missed it. Like they got that field goal to go up. I mean, he just missed a Kelsey touchdown, which he never does.
Yeah,
everything was there for Denver, and then they have just an absolute pylon blocking on their field goal. And boy,
he's been playing. I haven't watched actually tons of games or all of his games because I expect him to win, so I watch closer games. But then I watch the rest of the game. But he's been playing so bad, or at least not bad, but just not typical 300 yards.
Yeah,
I forgot how good he is. There's a play towards the end of the game where he shook off, or good throwing. He's had some great running plays. Shook off someone and then just uncorked a cannon to Xavier Worthy. Just missed him, but I was like, insane how good his arm is. I was like, I forgot you have this cannon because you haven't used it for.
They haven't been doing anything. He's ridiculous.
That's what I've been saying.
They keep winning.
But that's what I've been saying. A broken record, but they're just conserving, and then all of a sudden he's just gonna be uncorking in the playoffs.
I just bet someone yesterday though that they're not going to make Super Bowl. I got the field. I had to take it.
Oh yeah, you have to take it.
Yeah, I had to take it.
Especially in that packed.
The AFC is loaded.
Yeah. Seahawks, 49ers. Niners, are 6.5 point favorites. I thought this was going to be close.
In San Fran.
We
beat them up last time. DK's back, hopefully, but I mean, as long as Devo doesn't beat the shit out of his special teams unit again.
I had him down as a loser.
What a loser. Who's next? Does the punter get some? He got after the long snapper and the kicker. Now he's going after the punter. What a clown.
Yeah.
If you have any balls as the head coach, he needs to sit.
Yeah.
The first quarter or the first half of the game.
Yeah. I wonder.
Like, you can't treat your teammates like that.
Well,
He's
it's
just
weird too because
he's
in
a
the
punk.
receiver show, he seems like he's like the sweetest kind of guy. Like that's not his mentality. So I don't know if
Yeah,
maybe he did something like, "Hey, can we fucking hit something here?" And the guy's like, "Shut the fuck up." He was like, "You shut the fuck up." So maybe it was something like
yeah.
that. And then he got maybe like his initial
It must have been.
stuff.
It must have
Yeah,
been. But Jesus, like, let's not be.
yeah,
Can't be you punching the lawn snapper. Like, come on,
yeah.
let's.
How big balls the long snapper has to be go
Yeah.
back at Devo. Good
Well,
for
hey,
him.
he's like, I'm not going to take that from you. Like, I'm a member
Yeah,
of this team.
yeah,
Good
that's
for
true.
him.
Oh, game of the year. Chiefs
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
Bills 2.5 point favorites. Who fucking knows? Oh, you
In
know what?
Buffalo.
You got to take the Chiefs. They have not covered once when they've been favorite, but they've I think I have no idea what the numbers are. Them
Yeah.
as underdogs, I would say in the last 10 underdog games they've won the game
Yep.
outright.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. If it's, I do that every time. Oh, Chiefs are getting points. I'll
mm-hmm.
take that. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
stealing.
So that'll be a great game.
Yes, it will.
Um, oh no, it's not a great game. Chargers Bengals. One and
That
a
will
half
be a
point
good game.
favorites.
That will be
Yeah.
a good game. Chargers are good.
Chargers.
Chargers are
Yeah.
sneaky good, and since the offense is legit, the defense stinks, but their offense is good. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good game, and really, if you look at the landscape, it's a must-win for the Bengals. Like,
Oh yeah.
they still got a shot, but they need to win games like that against other teams that are playing for wild card spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's I'm gonna go Chargers because Bengals can't stop much and they'll just run the ball
Anybody?
down the throat. Well
Yep.
coached.
Very
That's a Sunday nighter. Monday nighter, as you said already, was a shit
gross.
ass game.
Gross.
Texans,
Not even
Cowboys.
watching. Not even watching that.
Texans, yeah,
Hopefully, I have a
seven and a
hockey
half point
game.
favorites.
Not watching Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Thank God for the league. We've got Carolina and the Giants on a bye week, so we don't have to watch them at least.
That is nice. Actually, you know what? It'll come. I'll need that on Monday because in the one league I have, it's a super flex, and you play two quarterbacks, and I got CJ Stroud, so I'll have to watch a little bit of that game. Hopefully, I don't need too many points from him.
All right. Well, I got a baby crying in the background.
Yeah. I know it's time to get this hound out. He's hounding me. So.
Oh, one last winner of the week. I'm glad you brought it up. It was my number one. It sads us all. Winner Kirk Herbie in his tribute to his boy Ben.
Yeah.
Passed away.
We'll miss you, Ben. We'll miss you.
Yeah. And Herbie, he went right on his call. He went Thursday night football, went right to work after putting his poor boy down.
True pro.
So
Ben would want it no other way.
Ben would want it no other way.
Yeah. You got to do it. Good for him.
So,
but I hope he's all right because I think he's been a bit of an emotional support kind of animal for Herbie. So hopefully he's fine. Obviously, he's doing. You know, it's like though. Like at first, you're able to kind of bounce back right away, but then things kind of start to hit after a while. And
I voiced this or I put this in my article. So this is a little clip we can clip out. Yeah. Me and my friend, who I won't name, we said, and people started to agree, it's harder to put down your dog than a sibling, but depending on the sibling. But it's like, if my sibling died, Sydney, I love her so much. Sorry. Yeah. But like, Sydney's not my responsibility. She moved around the country, around the world. I will be extremely sad, but I have no responsibility. Like, putting down Wiggins was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life, by far. Yeah. Like my grandparents passed away, but like people pass away, you can understand it. Like death happens as a part of life, not you putting down like your son. It's just absolutely,
it's terrible.
The worst thing on earth. So
it's terrible. And you know what though? Like that was only one, as I've had to do it 3 times now. And the one thing that you learn, and I hate when I see people do this, is you can't let them linger. And too many people I know have let their dogs just hang around, and they're not happy. Like, and at some point you got to realize that you're just keeping the dog around for yourself and not for what's best for the dog. And I've seen it too many times. So as hard as it is, so often it's just the right decision, and it's tough. But
I'm glad you brought that up. Some Uncle Blaiso's gave me some great advice over my many years. And one of them was just what he said. And my dog Wiggins was like, his favorite things to do was look out the window and bark at people, go on walks. And, towards the end of his life, he didn't walk anymore. he couldn't like look out the window. He was just, I
Yeah.
was like, all right. He literally couldn't do anything he enjoyed doing, and he was
Yeah.
just miserable in pain. So it was, I could have kept him alive for probably another 2, 3, 4 months, whatever it was, or maybe who
Yeah.
knows. But
Yeah,
he
but you
couldn't
just know,
enjoy
like with Tucker at Easter, when the final straw for me, I mean, I knew he wasn't good, and then he fell down the stairs trying to get outside, and got
it.
out there, and I went and grabbed his favorite ball, and his eyes lit up for a second, and he put the ball in his mouth, and he chewed it twice, and then he just dropped it, and I was just like, well, fuck, that's
Yeah.
especially with the lab, if they don't want to eat and they don't want their ball, that's curtains. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I took Wiggins to the dog park, his other favorite place, and he got
yeah,
excited, and I got his ball, and exact same thing. He favorite thing was his ball.
yeah.
Chased it half-assed once, and then nothing.
Yeah, eventually they just can't do it anymore, right? And if they can't do it, it's you're just like I said, people, and I've seen it recently too with people that I know, and it's I don't like it. I don't like it at all because they're proud. They're proud animals, and when they can't be themselves, it's time.
Yeah, there's some dog advice for you guys.
Yeah,
Ended
just what
on
y'all wanted.
just ended on a sad note.
Yeah,
but you know what? With death, with Wiggins comes life. With little Lukai, so we've got happiness and a baby
how about
in
that?
the household,
and no more sleep for a while.
No more sleep. All right. Well, Fraser LeVay podcast, Uncle Blaiso. We'll see you guys later.